What you doing out in these streets, slave rule? What you doing out in these streets? What you doing out? What you doing out? What you doing out in these streets? What you doing out in these streets, slave rule? We in these streets.
Move on.
That's it.
Okay, cool.
But that's it. So yeah, this is your first podcast.
This is my first podcast. I think I've been looking at many podcasts, and I actually thought, like, what is a podcast really? You know? Yeah. So this is my first one. Yeah.
Do you listen to podcasts?
I sometimes do. One where there's video feeds in, where you can actually see discussions going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do normally, but not regularly. Yeah.
Okay. But you're not like a podcast cook like me.
No. I actually wanted to find out, like, how is it? Like, I mean, I've got like, you know, a lot of software in that, like, you know, Camtasia, those kind of things. And I thought, like, if you do a podcast and it's raw, what do you use to edit and those kind of things? So you think about what's the production that goes in with it, you know? So that's why I'm like, okay, that's not for me, but I would love to just find out more about it. Yeah.
You get highly produced ones, and then you get the ones that's not so produced, and it all depends on the person or the company is doing it. It all depends on your style. So it varies. There's no set rule to this is what a podcast should look like.
Yeah, no,
exactly. Sound like. But yeah, everyone has their own version of it, which is good. It's good for creativity. It's good for media. It's good for communication. It's good to. Yeah, I think it's good for people just to hear raw honest conversations and not filtered, watered down, manipulated, pushing their own narratives.
Yes.
I think it's good for everyone just to have a different perspective on different things. So yeah, man, I'm a big fan of podcasts. As you see,
I know, but I mean, I've also thought about. You hear the word, I mean, like, I'm in the IT industry, so obviously I should know podcast, but I'm like, when I heard the word podcast, I'm like, what is it? Like, it's like pot, it's a cast. Yeah, you put the two words together, like cast, you know, casting is like you're creating something, right? And now pot, where does the word come from? You know, like, it's audio, yes, you know, or is it video? Because in most cases, people used to do podcasting with audio. So they sit and they listen, and then you basically put earphones in and you listen
like
to someone.
Like
an audio book kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, always like thinking, like, what is a podcast really, you know? But then did some research.
Yeah, it evolved from audio to video.
Yeah. Because that's why I knew. Because I remember when we used to have these sessions, and we like, there's a podcast to listen to about something, you know, and then you go listen to the audio. Yeah. But now it's the video part, you know, so you're just trying to see, is it still called podcast or is it now videocast, you know?
No, it's essentially still called a podcast.
Cool podcast,
it's just called maybe a video podcast or a podcast with video. But yeah, like, it all started from just audio. And as things evolved with technology, you know, then it became video, and now you have multi-cam podcasts where it's more than one camera and different angles. But the majority of people still listen to podcasts more than they watch, because imagine you have to sit in for 3 hours listening to a podcast where you can just press play and you can do other things like clean the house or you know, work on your car or
something like that.
So you're getting information, but you're doing something else at the same time. You know, which works.
I actually started, you know, like a YouTube channel. Like I don't know. Yeah, when I have YouTube, obviously YouTube, but then I decided to rename my YouTube channel to, I think I called it, I don't know. I think I called it Wally D or something. I'm not sure. Or I called it because Wally D was when I used to. You know, I wanted to become a DJ when I was, I think when I was studying, you know, when I was busy with my studies, and I thought, like, you know, virtual DJ. That's where it started off. So I was like, okay, play with virtual DJ. I still had the Pentium 2 PC. That time it was, I think it was still the fastest PC in that era. So I was like, okay, let's try this virtual DJ out, play some songs, mix them all together, autoplay them. And then I learned about beat per minute, you know, where you have to synchronize the songs, you know, and all that. And there's a time I think I created a audio or a long hour playlist And I thought, because we always party, and it's like, okay, I have a playlist now, saved as an MP3, I'll just play the playlist and then let everybody see how it is. So that was me testing and seeing, you know. But then I think I lost interest in it, probably because sitting in front of a piece the whole time, everybody's partying, and now you have to sit there and you play songs, you mix the songs. You're not part of the party, you know. But I think that was one of the phases of my life that I went through, and then I thought, okay, YouTube, start creating, you know, guidance videos, you know, how to do things. So I did some stuff where I use Camtasia, and with Camtasia I could record myself on the screen, doing certain things on the screen, explaining how to open this, how to create this, you know, on a computer, and then save it and upload it on YouTube, and then see if someone will watch it. So I've seen that people are actually watching your content. It's just that you don't see it. You know, you can see all these views, but it's something that I want to do, but I just need motivation in a way, because like you said, you need to have at least maybe 3 videos a week in order to have an attractive channel.
Well, you don't have to have 3 videos a week.
Or at least once a week.
You're speaking off mic. You just basically be consistent about it.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Be consistent. Have regular content.
Yeah.
But okay.
But it's also the ideas, because I don't have ideas. I'm like, I see things and I was like, oh, I want to solve that problem. Maybe I'll do this. Then when it comes to that, you're like, I don't have time now to do it anymore. You know. So that whole motivation of me running my channel, my YouTube channel, it's the one thing I probably need to do. But I've looked at all these extra channels that people created already. That's established, it's out there. They post content every week, and they have a reason for posting, and they probably have a group of people working with them that's assisting them, you know, how to do that. So that was moving on from, you know, wanting to become a DJ, then wanting to become a YouTube person to create content and help people out there. But then also there's the studies that I started also with, that also came along. So yeah, it's this whole working out what you need to do next, you know.
Okay, so from potentially being a DJ to IT, how did that happen? What?
I think from potentially being DJ, being IT is probably my will to wanting to assist people or to help people. Because in IT I realized that you help someone, like someone don't know how to click on or use the mouse or the keyboard, you assist that person. And I think the troubleshooting part of wanting to help someone and solve a problem is probably why I moved to IT from a DJ. I think the DJ was my hobby. It was, I still want to do it. I still want to just listen to music, play music, remix a song or something like that. But I think it got into advanced that you now have to have this extra equipment in order to be a professional DJ. And I thought, no, I don't want to do that anymore. So then I obviously decided to go IT route, understand IT from my background, being a technician, to going towards the teaching of it to students. So I wanted obviously to give back to what I know, you know. But I think there's also this missing thing that I still think I needed to do, which was study further in IT. And I wanted then to do that and go learn more. Like what is IT? I mean, we say the word IT, but there's so many things about it. I mean, it's connected things, yes. It's building a computer, fix a computer, and when people see me, they think that I'm a technician still. They see me and like, can you fix this? Can you do that? And I'm like, I don't have lust for that anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. I'm tired of those things. I'm more like want to be the consultant person and consult someone. Okay, no, you have to do it this way. You have to do it that way. That's kind of the role they want to play nowadays, yeah.
Okay, so what do you currently do?
Currently, I'm a lecturer at the university. And I lecture students from first year, third year, and those who are doing the degree and advanced diploma. So I teach from the morning probably the afternoon and in the evening also, because we've got evening classes. But I teach several days of the week. So that's my day-to-day that I do now currently.
So you prefer lecturing over being a technician?
I prefer that, yes, because it allows you to set your scope. So you can, if you have, let's say you want to teach someone this, you have an opportunity to go on to Google and wherever, get your resources, give the student more new knowledge than the current textbook that they're supposed to go through, you know. So you can expand your horizons, you can go look at stuff that just like, for instance, Twitter, Elon Musk changed it to X. I mean, you could talk to them about something like that, you know, that's something new. Whereas when I was a technician, there's things I also wanted to explore. Like I was frustrated with the asset system that we used to have. I mean, the Excel sheet, and we had to count the pieces on an Excel sheet. And I thought if we just had a system that can automate all of this, it would be nice. And so I had to explore certain things in that, and there was always limitations because there's cost. I mean, you have to buy software to do certain things. And I think because of that, I decided to go the lecture route also because I want to do more research. So the lecture route allows me to do some more research into new things and develop my, you know, my thinking abilities. Yeah.
So you like engaging with people as well?
Engaging with people, meeting different kinds of people, going to these conferences where you have these people that they in the certain study field that I want to do, but you get to know more about them and how your study field will improve, you know, and will match with it too. And so these networking sessions that we normally have where we meet people, those are really things that you really like because you can build up your community, you know, get to know these peers better, get to know them better.
Where did the passion for IT come from?
Passion for IT, high school. So high school, I'm born in Worcester. So high school, we had a problem with maths, you know, we called it wiskunde. So everybody just wanted to.
It's still called.
It's called wiskunde still,
Yeah.
yes. I think it just changed the name or something.
Yeah.
So everybody just wanted to, you know, ignore maths or science, and everybody just wants to go these normal subjects. And then I thought, okay, we had this group of class, I think we called grade 12C. We were called the conceited because we're in the C class. We're the only class on the high school that had maths.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, from all the
so
matrics.
why you a C?
I don't know.
Normally
We're not A.
Yeah,
we're A.
Yeah.
But A was called assholes because they
Okay.
didn't do maths or something like that. So I think that was just the name we called ourselves. But I think we were called conceited, right? So 12C, there was a class I was in, and then we had extra maths classes that we had to come to UWC.
Oh.
So
How often did you have to come to Cape Town for those classes?
I think every once a month, if every twice a week from on a Saturday. So we had Saturday classes at UWC to learn more about maths. So extra classes that we had to do at UWC. I can't think like the amount of times we had to come to Cape Town, but I know it was a regular time that we had to come, and it was every second Saturday, I think, yeah. Because I had to get the bus to take us all, the whole class, those who want to do extra classes, to come to Cape Town, UWC, spend the day here, get these notes, do some, you know, learning and that, and then go back home with these notes and feedback and that. And that really helped us in a way, and it was their way of outreaching to the community in Worcester, you know, with our school. I'm not sure they still do it. It would be nice to find out if they still do it because it really helped us with maths.
Okay.
Not saying that our teachers at high school didn't do much, but it was just preparing ourselves with these extra classes. It was really fun. And that's when I saw the university for the first time. It's like I saw UWC and I was like, yo, this place is huge, this big building, and I'm walking in here. And that's probably why I thought like, maybe I want to come here, I want to apply, you know, and learn more. And then at high school also I had these extra classes that I did with, I think it was Microsoft Excel and PowerPoint and Word. So we had these classes that we had to attend how to typing classes, I went for that. Word, Excel and PowerPoint, I think, yes. And then I got a certificate for completing that at high school, which was just a course completion in that sense. But that built my love for IT because I also had a Pentium 2, which the old Pentium 2, which I had at home.
Was the genuine Pentium?
Was the genuine?
Okay.
Genuine. I actually opened the box and I saw the it says Pentium 2 on the CPU, and I think that PC I had to fix it sometimes because the hard drive failed. Sometimes you lose your data. It was a big hard drive that time. And I think that's where my love for IT started because I had to fix my PC, make sure it works, because that is the PC that I had to use during my studies at CPUT. I had to use a Pentium 2 to get through first year, second year and third year.
Did you go to CPUT with the intention of studying IT?
Yeah, I went there because I had to apply. Now there's one person in my life that passed away now, unfortunately. But my aunt Elizabeth Hendricks, she's the one that actually pushed me to go out of Worcester and go improve myself, right? That time Worcester was like, it's like you in the street where your neighbor that you stay, but if you're the first child to go to university, you're almost like you're famous, you know. So you're like the first of your family to go study in Cape Town, you know. So it was that feeling of, I'm the first here in the street to go to university, you know, and my aunt wanted that.
Obviously, so, she should be proud of you.
So she actually, while I was still in grade 12, June, we had this a counselor, someone to assist us with filling in all these, applications for university and colleges and that. So we filled in all that, and then some of the stuff you had to send, not email, that you could have emailed now, but now you had to send it via post. So you had to send these letters, fill in these forms, and then send it via post, and send it there. But my aunt, what she did is she got all these applications. I don't know where she got it from, but she got CPU, these applications, UWC, all these application forms to apply. I think that time it was called Intech, some other college also. There was a lot of colleges also, flyers I had at home that I had to complete and fill in and apply and send these guys also emails to apply it. And then some of them obviously came back to me, but then I think the one that you wanted me to get in was CPUT, Pentech it was that days, we called it Pentech. Still, Pentech was the best. So Pentech was where I applied to, and then I got provisionally accepted. I didn't know what provisionally accepted means. Like, you accepted, but it's provisionally. So what does this mean? So I think what I had to do is I had to go to the university campus, and then basically just find out I was provisionally accepted. What's the next step? And my aunt went with me because she wanted me to get in there. So the funny story is that when I got there, I'm from Worcester. I need to apply for residence. So on the application form, we didn't apply for residence. Can you believe it? And we had to go that day to go find out where can we apply for residence, because I'm from Worcester and I need to stay on the hostel in order to be here. And then I think what we did is we went to the head of the department, which is where you find out why you provisionally accepted, what's the next phase, because you're almost like you're on a waiting list to be registered for IT first year. And then they told me there's no more space, and I think that's where my aunt lost it. She says, no, this child wants to be here. And I had to go everywhere on that campus with her, walk with her, till she had to request a meeting with the HOD of the department, head of the department. And we went and we sat in his office and we waited for him to get back. And when he arrived, she explained the story, he listened to her, and that just showed me the whole, the effort that she put into me to be there. She wanted me to be there, so she basically wanted to get an answer like, why can't he study here, why is he provisionally accepted? And then he made the remark and he said that he will speak to the program coordinator or program convener that time, and then they changed my status to accepted. So they had a discussion, but if she didn't go to the HOD's office that time, I wouldn't have been at CPUT.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
so
awesome to have something like that in your life.
So she's my role model for that.
That's awesome.
And I think after that she supported me. being from Worcester, staying on Coastal, you have to eat every day. I mean, yes, you get these you call funding that you get, student loans and that through NEFSAS and that, but it's not really a lot. It's not much. It's for your fees that you pay, your tuition, and you get some of it left for meal allowance. So that sometimes wasn't enough, and then she came on campus. He supported me also through my journey. And when I got my results, I can gladly show the results. This is my marks. This is what I got. And it also brightened the.
Of course.
And also it was good. It was good, and I think I'm grateful for that person that she was in my life to get me to where I am. She allowed me to get from matric, getting out of that zone, going to university, college, and improve my life. Yeah, I'm happy for that.
That's awesome, man. Okay, so I want to know this Huawei thing. What's happening? I see you post a lot about these competitions. You went to China, but I don't see descriptions of this competition. I don't know what it entails. All I see is this ICT Academy thing.
Yeah.
But I have no idea. How do you even compete? Like in this type of thing. Like what these certain tests that you have to do. Like, first of all, you're a Huawei ambassador, right?
Well, I see myself as ambassador, but there is a certain role for it. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. So what are you? What is your affiliation with Huawei? Are you an
IT
agent?
I'm
you a spy?
instructor. No, I'm just instructor.
You're an instructor.
I'm just a normal instructor, but I'm also a Huawei administrator for the academy at university.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys speak about the devices and the software they use.
Software and all that stuff, yeah.
Okay. So how were you selected to go to China? First of all, let's just start. First of all, am I saying this correctly?
Yeah.
Huawei.
Huawei, it's correct.
Okay.
Pronunciation right.
Because it's an H, and then I say Huawei.
It's Huawei.
Okay, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that I don't pronounce it correctly.
Yeah, they normally say Hawaii.
That's also another way to pronounce it. So it's Huawei.
Yeah.
Okay. So how were you selected for this program, for this academy, and let's just start there.
Okay.
First.
So first of all, the selection came through an email. So what they normally do is Huawei monitors you, the academy monitors you, how you open your classes. Like you have your instructor, so you open a class, you teach students, and they either go write the international certification, the exam, or they just complete the course as part of
Is this
course
in
completion.
Hawaii?
The Huawei, yeah.
You see what you're doing to
No,
me.
okay, sorry.
The Huawei, is this in Hawaii accredited course that they set up and they issue to institutions and say, you need to open up a class for this sort of syllabus?
Yes.
Yeah,
something like that. It's not really accredited for academics because academics and the industry don't see eye to eye. That's one thing I've noticed. So there's always this thing of bridging the gap between academia and industry, right? Because academia looks at SAQA and all those things. They look at it.
What?
Accreditation, SAQA.
SAQA.
The South African Qualifications Framework.
Okay.
Agency. That's what it stands for. So they normally, when a company or entity wants to open a course, you go through the accreditation, and that accreditation puts you on the type of level of completing the diploma, certificate in that sense. So the Huawei certificate falls on NQ level 4. That's a SAQA level. So that's like a equivalent to a higher certificate at a college, like a 1-year course.
Okay.
That's the equivalent of it. So basically, when you use that, you can use it as a short course through university, the curriculum, or you can incorporate it into your curriculum. So there's two ways to do it. The third way is obviously you do it through a vendor, and the vendor basically runs a 10-day course, and that course you can charge people that wants to learn more outside, from the industry that works. Maybe he's a network specialist, so he wants to learn about routing and switching, So he will learn about routing and switching on Huawei's equipment,
Okay.
and then you do it for 10 days. And then you can charge those people to come,
Okay.
you know, it's
Gotcha.
like short courses. So those are the 3 ways of how you would use the type of course from Huawei.
Okay.
So what we've been doing is we've been opening up courses, running courses, giving it to students, teaching students. The university students obviously get it for free. That's a good thing about their marketing strategy. They get it for free because they are a university student, and we are a academic, call it academic partner through the university. So they probably looked at my track record, because in 2019 we started this academy through Huawei, and then that year some of my students got to the nationals. So this is how the competition works. So the ICT competition, I don't know what it stands for. I think it's Information Communications
You
Technology.
don't know what it stands for.
Yeah, sometimes they change the abbreviations, but I think it's Information Communication Technology.
What if it's some secret spy
Dalk so.
conspiracy
It's
that you're part of it? You didn't even know you were part of.
I know about the 5G that everybody's like afraid of. I mean,
Okay, that's fake news.
yeah, that is fake news that we know. Yeah. But
Okay.
funny enough, someone the other day when we were at the event said that the bees are falling from the sky. I'm like, no, why is the bees falling from the sky? He's blaming the Wi-Fi. He's blaming
I've
5G.
heard that conspiracy
Yeah,
as well. I've
so a
heard
lot of
that.
conspiracies out
Yeah.
there. And so when you associate with a company like Huawei, even on academic level, people, you know, they look at you like I mean, I've got a lot of peers that works for Cisco. So Cisco is obviously not saying they're against Huawei, but Cisco and Huawei always don't
It's
sit eye to
competition.
eye. Competition. It's Western versus Eastern.
Exactly.
You know, so
What do you think about Huawei? What do you think about Huawei and the fact that they've been removed from the Google Play Store?
I think they are removed, but I think it's obviously because political and American style of agendas and that.
But what about the fact that they've done investigation on their devices and it's found to be one big listening tool, gathering information
everything is listening to
and
you.
sent to China?
It all depends on the country. I would say there is obviously legislation and all those things that's in place. So if someone is listening to your device, it first have to go to the network provider, which would be either Vodacom, MTN or CLC or Telkom. So if they don't have any agreement with whoever's the communications minister, then that it shouldn't reach out of and go to China. You know, there should be agreement. I mean, with BRICS. So BRICS stands for the Brazil, Russia,
yes, India,
China,
South
Africa. So I think with that agreement and that big BRICS thing, I mean, I don't think our data should go to China. I think it's somewhere with the government. I don't know. Those are also would say it's a conspiracy. I don't know. I actually don't pay attention to those things. I don't. I think it's people that get scared of technology and new things, and then they start these things. That's what I think. But my personal opinion, I looked at. I mean, if you look at here, I've got a Google speaker here, right in my house. So there's also this conspiracy, is like the speaker's on silent, but as soon as I say the word G, it will talk.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you? It's listening to you all the time.
All the time.
You know, your phone,
Yes.
your microphone. You don't even know if it's listening to you all the time.
No, it is, because if I say Bixby, and Bixby's like, I couldn't hear that.
Now somehow there is an entity or someone or something that sits behind it that obviously sends and feeds that information. So we can't just say China is doing that, and I think why they removed from a Play Store. I think it's more that it's competition. It's more. I think, from my opinion, it's more that they're innovative more than our other countries.
Okay, so your opinion is that all devices are listening. It's not only China. It's the reason why they removed from the Play Store was competition and nothing malicious was about it. Or
I mean, when you look at it from my my perspective or my opinion. I would always say my opinion, and I don't want to say facts because then I need to go do research. So I think from why I would say that is because I think when you look at most companies, they have to abide by certain rules and laws and that, and those rules make them function and make them work, daily in that. So I would say what happened with them removing them from Google Play, and even removing them from a lot of things, it's mainly competition. There was this whole thing about the chips, the microchip. So there was this about the phone. So Huawei phones used to outplay Apple phones. And I think it's obviously because of the camera, the quality of the camera, the way you take photos and that. So they had this chip manufactured, and they used to use some parts from America to manufacture that chip. So it came to play that obviously that time I think Donald Trump was the president.
Yes.
So he saw that they're using some of the stuff of America to improve whatever chip they're building for the phones. And he thought, no, we need to stop that. And I think when they decided to stop that, Huawei said, oh, but we can make our own chips. We don't need you, right? And that's where they obviously had to fall back about Google Play and Apple Store and all that. And I think what I picked up is that when Huawei went the route of what they did, so they started their Harmony OS, their own operating system.
Yes.
Right? And this own operating system now caused a problem for us in South Africa as consumers. Because now you need to understand how this operating system works, what's happening on the operating, because it's not Android. Android is American, it's Google, and it's also open source and all that. But Harmony OS was kind of linked to Huawei. And because it's linked to Huawei, people got scared. Like, I buy a Huawei phone, it's cheap, right? But I don't know how to use it. I can't use Google Maps. I can't use Google Play.
They have their own.
They have their own things called. They have
yes,
their own apps, and it's all in Chinese. And I think what they did differently is someone decided to create something called Gbox. So Gbox is this whole container, box of apps in there, and your Google Maps is in there,
Yes.
all that. And that's how people now use those apps on the phone,
Yeah.
on their phones. And I think just
Sure.
yeah, just
Oh.
yeah. And I think with regards to the app and that, there's ways to go around it. I mean, it's just that everybody don't want to go through that trouble to go install Gbox. And now,
Do you have a Huawei phone?
I do have a Huawei phone, but my Huawei phone is since.
Are you just saying that because you want camera?
No.
And you are.
I actually have a Huawei
ambassador.
phone. It's sorry.
Do you only have a Huawei phone? You don't have anything else?
I only have a Huawei phone. I don't have an Apple phone.
You don't have a Samsung?
I
Under
used
your
to
mattress?
have. No. I think the Huawei phone I have is actually a flagship phone, I believe. It's the P30 Pro.
Okay.
So one that came out with all these fun, fancy things, and that time I realized that they are really ahead. I mean, it has built-in RFID, which we only found out later on.
What's RFID?
Radio. It's like when you. I don't know the abbreviation. I think it's radio frequency identification, something like that. But what it does is when you go to a shop and you want to pay with your phone.
Oh, the
uses
scan to pay.
Yeah,
oh,
scan
yeah,
to pay.
Got you.
So it uses an RFID chip to scan.
Was Huawei the first ones to have that, or?
Their phones have it built in.
But in terms of innovation, were they the first ones to have that?
I think
feature?
so. I think so. Yes, because my phone is 2018.
And it had it back then already.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
They have 5G built in. My phone is built in 5G.
In 2018.
2018.
That's crazy.
So that tells me already the innovation behind it.
That's crazy.
It has infrared built in, so I can switch the TV off and all that. And so that's why I like my phone. And my phone has been running on for how many years and failed so many times, it's still working. Yeah, so it's good. I like my phone. So because of that, I don't have a problem with Google Play because my phone is before they made the changes. So I still have Android on my phone. I can still run Google Play. I can still run Google Maps. But it's the newer phone that came up after that, when the Donald Trump started. Those phones now don't have Google Play.
So your phones still have Google Play?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, still have Google Play.
Wow.
And that's because my operating system with the phone model that I use can support that.
Are you going to keep this phone or are you going to buy another Huawei
No, I'm
phone?
going to keep this phone because I don't have time for Google Box, for Gbox. I don't have time for all those funny apps.
But why don't you get a Samsung or Apple then?
I have trust issues with navigation. I mean, then I have to get used to different navigation strategies. Samsung, I saw the phone. It's okay, but for me, it's also about the use and ease of the navigation. For me,
Are you talking about maps now, or are you talking about
no, about the using of the phone, the experience of the phone. The user experience, especially an iPhone. Nope, I don't like it. People likes it because it's fast. It does a lot of things. Everything is there. But I've got the Apple, so I'm getting used to the Apple. The Mac is fine, but I mean, using an iPhone, that's another ball. I don't want to play it.
I don't know. I think Apple is a bit limited when it comes to the phone.
Especially applications. Yeah, so that's the other thing. I mean, people would buy an Apple, but you can only do design stuff on it if you buy an Apple Mac. You can't play games on a Mac.
You can't.
You can't, no. So the gaming is out.
It's great for graphic processing.
It's great for all those
editing
things. Yeah.
And for designs, and it's amazing because
Yeah.
the color, it's true color as well when it comes to resolution.
I think it's great now also for AI.
Oh,
AI is
yeah,
out here. I mean,
yeah.
AI is there. I mean, ChatGPT. People talk about ChatGPT.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
It is.
It's taking people's jobs.
It is.
But it's also, you must be careful what you post ChatGPT also, because sometimes it trains itself. So you post something confidential about your company or whatever, it's gonna analyze that data, that information, and try to give you a right answer. But it's gonna store it also to help it train itself.
Yeah.
So next time it will improve the answer.
Because what ChatGPT does so well, which is also a bit scary, it scours the entire internet of all research, all
Information, yeah.
posts, all information that was published, and tries to give you the best answer.
Yeah.
So, so it's not necessarily that it scours information on the internet for truth, but it scours information that it's gathered of all these different posts, all these different publications to give you an answer.
yeah, and it sometimes lies. So
Because remember, like, ChatGPT is made by a human.
yeah.
So
it
that
lies.
those humans who program it or designed it, they have their own narratives to push as
Yeah.
well. Like, for example, you can't, if you want to make fun of the current president of America, Biden, it doesn't allow you to do that. But you asked to do something about Trump, easily.
Easily, yeah.
Easily.
It will, yeah.
So it just shows you that type of narrative is pushing.
Yeah, no, and it's also obviously the the machine learning behind it, because they train the machine how to behave, how to do things, you know. So a lot of things are happening out there.
Okay,
So-
wait. We got way off.
We are
How
off
you
track.
selected?
We are not even there yet.
How
we
were
were
you selected for Huawei?
okay, so just rewinding back to So right, so being the ISD the academy administrator at university, I then got an email the day, I think it's the 4th of May, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. And then and then at that time my wife was at home, and I saw the message like, look here, look at this email. They're inviting me to go to China to accompany the 3 finalists, and also to do a speech and be part of the panelists in China.
Wow.
And I had 2 days to answer that
Wow.
email. And it made me think, like, I haven't gone to China. I started going on Google Maps and like, how long do you travel from South Africa to China?
So you're worried about that?
I was worried about the distance and the travel.
Okay, before this email, did you travel before?
Well, just in the country, yeah.
Okay, but never
Joburg,
overseas.
Never overseas.
Okay, so
never,
that was on your mind.
was my mind.
Okay,
and
leaving-
also the whole thing of coronavirus. You know,
But when was this?
this was this year, May. So it was
But
early May.
you worried about Corona this year?
No. remember, I wasn't worried about it, but I was just thinking like, you go overseas, how's the environment in China? Because you hear, you know, the news like must mislead you sometimes.
Okay.
And then you see all these bad things happening and you don't know what's really happening inside the country.
True.
So it was...
Especially China being, they say, this is allegedly, this is allegedly, don't quote me on this, but talking about this being a communist country,
Yes.
dictators running it, all of those things obviously play on your mind.
Yes, all those things, yeah. So when I showed my wife the email, and then I asked her, what do you think about this email? And we both went in silence because...
The first thing she's probably like, Chinese women!
Exactly. No, she was just thinking of, remember she's pregnant, my wife is pregnant now. So she was thinking like, how long
was she?
She was, I have to count months now back. It was 4 months, 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was about me being away for a week, her being alone at home, you know, those kind of things, you know, just think about the safety of her.
First time away from her? Is it
No, that's not the first time.
Oh, okay.
Previously I had to, I've been away for, I think I had a project I was busy with, so I went to 8 different provinces. 2022 in August, the month of August.
Okay.
So I went 1 week to Eastern Cape, 1 week to Free State and so forth.
Gotcha.
So that already I was away from home.
Okay.
But now this is over the borders,
Yes.
over the seas.
It's only for a week though.
Only for a week.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we looked at the message in the email and then I replied immediately and I said, yes, I'm available. Just like that. And then afterwards came the whole thinking about what you have to go through to go to China. You know? So I was selected based on my classes that I opened.
What do you have to go through to go to China?
There's a lot of documentations you have to complete.
Like?
First of all, the visa. Now here's the thing.
But wait. We on BRICS. So why do you need a visa to go to China? That doesn't make sense.
Now we need a visa to go to China.
But that's bullshit.
Yeah, tourist visa.
But this is the agreement with BRICS.
Yeah.
Because if I go to Brazil and I went to Brazil, I didn't need a visa because we're part of BRICS.
That's strange.
No, it's not strange.
So why
That's
do
not
we
strange.
need a visa for China?
That's my thing as well. Because Russia as well, you don't need a visa. India, you don't need a visa because we're all part of the same agreement, the BRICS agreement.
Yeah.
So why do you need a visa to go to China? See, that's that bullshit about the Chinese that I'm worried about. That's bullshit. Because
Yeah.
when they come here, they don't need a visa.
Yeah. That's something interesting. Didn't know.
Yeah, that's
So I had to go through the visa process.
that's bullshit.
And yeah. And also what they did is they changed the thing to biometrics. So here's the thing. I called the visa offices. One in Cape Town, one in Joburg. Cape Town tells me they closed. Due to COVID, they closed. They're only opening in 6 months.
But this was this year.
This year, May.
How do you close? Okay. Anyway.
Anyway, yeah. So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. So what I had to do is, and what I had to go through is, I had to go to Sandton because the only office that works and operates is in Joburg.
So you physically had to go to
I
Santa.
had to physically go to Sandton,
Wow.
and I actually slept over one night. So I slept close to the I think it's the Nelson Mandela Square.
Oh
so
yes,
there's a hotel
Sandton,
across
that's
it. Yes.
very nice over there.
So I slept there, and then the visa place is actually there in that Sandton Tower, the West Tower, I think, yes. So I had to go there, get my appointment early in the morning, and then I heard that there's fingerprints now, so they had to take fingerprints. So their visa now is fingerprints.
Wow.
So when you want to leave the country, and even when you enter the borders with China, they take your fingerprints to scan. That's why I find it strange that they're part of BRICS, but we have to go through all that.
Yeah. Don't get me started. Okay.
Okay, so that's something interesting which I need to follow up, because
I can't believe
if
this.
this year, let's say we make it again to the finals, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
Then I need to know those things. Yeah.
How long was your visa valid for?
30 days. It's a tourist visa.
You have to go. Oh my gosh. No. Okay.
I'm not sure if it's a traveling agency maybe that misled us, but I think it's not a permanent visa, it's a 30-day visa stay.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the visa part. Then, after that, we had to do a COVID test to go to China.
You still have to do all of this Okay.
So luckily there's two ways to do it. There's one with you swab in your mouth, and there's one
Yes.
with the nose, which is the worst
The
one.
worst one.
So the swab in the mouth worked, and then we had to do it within. Before our flight, we had to do it within I think 48 hours.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you had to obviously wait for your results, and that's the worrying part, because you're like, you don't know what's going to happen, because your flight and everything is booked. You need to go to China, and you're waiting for the swab test to come back, the results. And then not me only, there was 3 other students that were selected as the finalists to go to China.
Wow.
So I was accompanying them as the mentor and the instructor to go to China. And also I was preparing for a speech and a panelist that I have to be, in China. So those are the 2 things I was just worried, like, if COVID now comes and bite me in the ass, then I can't go,
Okay.
So, yeah. So luckily the results came clear. The Saturday it was clear, and because I was flying the Sunday the next morning.
Do you still have to wear a mask over there?
The Chinese flight, yes, you have to.
On the flight?
On the flight.
Oh my gosh.
The flight attendant.
Yo.
They don't force you, but they will tell you, like.
Which airlines did you fly with?
Singapore Airlines.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
So
what the fuck are we doing?
So here's the thing. So we went from okay, I traveled from Cape Town to Joburg, meet up with the students that same day, the Sunday. And then when we got into the flight from Joburg to Singapore, right, that was a 10-hour flight, 10 or 11 hours, yeah. And in Singapore was fine, no mask, no nothing. As soon as we had to go on from Singapore to China, when we wanted to enter the plane, the attendant told us, masks, put on your mask.
Wow. See, this is
So we had to keep our masks on.
On the flight, and when you're walking around in China?
No, you don't have to wear masks.
Okay.
It's just on the flight. I think it's maybe because they know it's a compact plane
But it's
and a lot
stupid.
of people.
Like, masks don't even work.
Yeah. So yeah,
The only one that really is effective is the N95 mask.
Yeah, and all the flight attendants had masks on. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was yeah.
Okay. All right. So
that was a fun experience. That was.
And this was your very first international flight.
Yeah, my very first international flight.
Okay.
And I think the border when we landed in China, the border control, I would say it's military based.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody will agree with me, but it's military based.
sure
because
it
you have to
is.
stay there for 2 hours while they're checking everything.
That's my thing. You are South African. You are part of the BRICS agreement. Why do you have to go through all of this shit?
You have to go through all that stuff. They have things automated. So also another thing is, before we had to leave, we had to do a register on WeChat. Because here's the thing where people are saying the Chinese government are involved. WeChat is controlled by the government.
Yes.
So we had to install WeChat on our phones.
You had to?
Yes, we have to.
Oh my gosh. Now you see, this is that bullshit I'm talking about when I come to China.
Because there's a health declaration you have to do on WeChat and show the barcode on the border control when you enter the borders with China to declare your health. Yeah.
Wait. What do you mean when you say declare your health?
You have to declare that you obviously don't have coughing, you're COVID free and all that stuff.
So when you install WeChat, you get this almost like a disclaimer on it.
It's like a disclaimer that
you have to accept or disagree.
no, you have to fill in all the information, your flight details and everything on the app on WeChat, like a link.
Oh my gosh.
That's probably government controlled, and then you have to So a lot of people wants to go to China, they'll have to go through all that stuff.
I am never going there.
Yeah.
Are you insane?
Yeah.
I can't say never ever, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So you have to go through all that admin. So if you don't do the health declaration, they have forms that you have to manually complete there when you land there, and then you have to hand it in also.
Okay.
Like,
so after you've done this declaration, are you allowed to uninstall that app?
yeah, you can because it's WeChat. You don't need it. You can. There's a link they allow you to go onto if you don't want to install WeChat, but it's not the same. It's Chinese, so it looks different.
Yes.
So that's what they want. That's what they're asking people to do.
Wow.
And when you're in China, you either use your bank card to pay for stuff, or you have to install Alipay, which is their app that they use to pay.
Like scan to pay kind of thing.
Scan to pay,
Yeah.
and then you link your bank card, or you use WeChat Pay. So that is the three methods to buy stuff in China.
Yeah. So you don't use cash at all.
No, you can't use your cash. You have to exchange it, and you have to look at the currency. I
No,
think when I
no,
was
but
yeah,
let's
yeah,
say
you
you
can use
have-
your Chinese. Yeah,
Okay,
you can
gotcha.
you can do that. But I think our currency was so, I'll say it wasn't poor, but it was R2.61 against the rand.
That's not bad at all.
That's not bad.
That's really not bad.
But if you draw more money, you like you would draw like normally 2,000. Then you think you're drawing 2,000, but then you get charged in South African rands 2,000 on the R2.61.
Oh, you mean like a
Like
fee?
yun, like a two. Yeah, that's like the exchange rate.
Okay.
So let's say the exchange rate is R2.61. The yun, 1 yun is equal to R2.61 in South African rand.
Yes.
Then you obviously work it out in that sense. That let's say you draw 2,000 yun, it will be almost like 4K, almost 3K that you would have drawn from your South African currency.
Okay, but this fee you're talking about being charged, are you?
I don't think there's a fee that your bank charges you. It's
Oh,
probably just the exchange rate.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
No,
probably
but
just the exchange.
that's normal.
That's normal, yeah. That's normal, yeah.
normal.
So that was the only thing, and I mean they have fast foods, KFC, McDonald's, and those,
yeah.
but the chicken are not like our chicken.
not, yeah.
Nah, it's not. You rather go for the burgers than the chicken.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not. They spice it too much.
Really?
Yeah, they know that because I told them that it's like this it's too much. Yeah, no.
Wow.
And the chicken is sometimes dry also. So yeah, I have to say these things because of my experience that I was there. So
No,
the
you
fast
gotta
foods is
keep it
not
100.
it's not really fast foods the way you want it, because remember it's KFC, so they're trying to do their own flavor.
Yeah, every country you go to adapts their own,
their own method of
because
food.
that's how they are accustomed to
Yeah,
eating it.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
it's-
mean, the restaurants was nice. I enjoyed the food. There was funny food. Funny it is because you see in Chinese they have a menu label,
Yes.
and then you obviously have its pronunciation to English. So the one day we were in a restaurant, we had some food, or we had a menu, and I think on the menu in Chinese the translation to English was elbow. What was it? Something about elbow, spicy elbow.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, now what is spicy elbow? And I tried to find it and I couldn't see what it is, because I just,
Yeah.
maybe it was a vegetable, but it's called spicy elbow. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was something called vegetable heart. I was like, the translation directly
Yes,
to English, it's weird. You won't eat those food. But they have normal food. They have lots of fruits. They eat healthy. They have like we have, the yogurt. They have the Dangus yogurt, not the thick creamy yogurt. So one you can use with the straw.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's interesting.
yeah, they have that type of yogurt. Yeah.
Okay, so back to the competition. So what is the competition about? Like,
So-
how do they test their skills? And
So what happens with the competition is that Huawei, the academy. Now the academy is like a non-profit. They're part of Huawei, but the academy is a non-profit organization. So they basically run these competitions from October till end of May, around about October, end of May. There's different rounds to the competition. So the first thing is that the students at universities, at colleges, they go and do online self-study courses. So you want to learn about AI, you want to learn about Wi-Fi, but they have it packaged in a pattern. So for networking, if you want to go into the networking track, part of the competition, the category, you need to understand, you need to learn 5G, security and networking. Those three work together. So a student would do those three courses together and pass the exam.
this is now a Huawei-based course.
Yeah, Huawei-based courses, pass the exam, and then get a point score.
Okay.
Become part of one of the contestants because you
Gotcha.
apply. Then maybe if you want to do cloud computing, there's a category for cloud computing.
Okay, so these were all tests, theoretical tests.
It's
wa-
basically online test that you do on
Okay.
your PC.
So it
or on your
wasn't
phone.
like how to reconfigure this router in 60 seconds, go.
No,
You know?
that's later on. That's
Oh,
later on.
okay.
So what will happen is they basically just go through these courses, complete these courses, But they have a point system, so you have an entry-level course, you have a professional course, and you have a expert course. So completing the expert course gives you more points, completing the professional one gives you more points, and so forth. And that's how they rank the students. So they had over 10,000 students, they outreach.
From all different countries?
No, just in South Africa,
oh,
10,000.
Wow.
So I think the target was 8,000, they got 8,000 for last year, 2022.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot of students involved in the competition.
Wow.
Then those students have to go through those courses, complete those courses. The ones who make it, they represent the university or the college, you know. So the ones who make it to the top, I think they take the top 10 from each university because they look at the rankings among. So they have, because everything is on one central platform, they can see which college is performing and, you know, which student is performing, and then obviously they get the data, so they check those data.
Yes.
Then they email us as the different universities and colleges that these are your top students who made it to the first preliminary round.
Gotcha.
So they've gone through the first round, they are the top students. Then they go for the next round. Now the next phase is the national phase. After all the colleges came together and they've selected all that, they then look at let's say the universities per province. So they go through another round, like, you know, how are you performing in that university per that province. After that round, they take the top students again. So they go through that whole selection again. It's a lot of admin, but they do all these things. And then when you get to the national round, it's now where you compete to be in the top national top 3. So now all the universities compete together to get the top 3 students for that particular network track, as I mentioned earlier. And then that top 3 students then compete against the other top 3 of each university together.
Oh, wow.
And I think that is the middle round. They have like 3 or 4 rounds. Then when that round is done, now they've known that these are now the students who's going to do the lab exam.
Okay.
So then they do a lab exam in 4 hours.
Oh, wow.
So 4 hours is your limit. You have to configure the routine.
Is that really a test?
That's really a test.
Oh,
yes.
I was just making a scenario up.
No, it was
wow.
right. Yeah,
oh,
you were
wow.
right. That's what I'm saying. We're getting to that part. But it was first doing the whole test and exams, doing the online courses to understand the content better, and then go do the physical.
Okay.
So they then go through that lab exam where they have to make sure that they complete this task. So they get like a question paper. They need to build this network topology or something, build this whole network in 4 hours, configure everything the way it's supposed to be. And when they've done with that, they then get their marks, whoever competes, you know, because there's always rewards that they get. So what Huawei normally do is when you have 2 courses, you have your first semester and your second semester. So they have awards for the first semester, whoever competed, but now the competition is already in October, so it's a second semester awards. So the students normally get told you'll get a laptop, you'll get a phone, you'll get a tablet, depending on your criteria. That's incentives they give the students. And that motivates the students to compete.
Course.
So when they're done with that 4-hour lab exam, they then wait for their results, and then if they're done, they then get selected to represent South Africa for the South African region. That's the next phase.
Okay.
Now the South African region is Nigeria, Kenya, Zimbabwe, everybody from Nigeria down, those countries. They compete against South Africa all together, all the academies, because you're now representing South Africa. And when you're done there with that round, now that is also another lab exam. So there's 2. So that's an 8-hour lab exam. They compete then again together physically, each in their own country, and then they then select the top 3. So from everybody that's done the previous exam, they take maybe 20 students and they all compete till they get to the top 3. The top 3 then that make it, that gets through, gets then selected for South Africa to represent on the global stage, which is the global final. So then each country takes that top 3 from each country, and they go to China for the global final.
So the testing is quite rigorous.
It's rigorous because each country then, depends on which camp, because you can see there's a lot of academies and universities involved. but they take the top 3 to present South Africa. Never mind where you're from, which university in that country, you are selected as the top 3 to represent South Africa in the global stage in China. And that's when they sent me that email to ask me, can I accommodate the students, motivate them, mentor them to the competition in China. They are not from CPUT, they are from UJ, they are from University of KwaZulu-Natal. But I was selected to
oversee all
of them and then take them to the
That's
competition.
Crazy. How many of them in total were there?
There was just 3. Just 3.
Wow.
But us 3, so we were 4 bakers, we're going to China, our 3.
Wait, 4?
No, I mean...
No, the word you used, 4, did you say bakers?
No, I didn't say bakers.
No, what did you say?
No, I said we were selected, 3 students were selected, sorry.
I got that, but you said you were 4.
But I said we were 4 altogether to go to China.
There was a word you used.
No, I didn't say
Is this some kind of spy word that you're not supposed to use?
No, I didn't use any spy
but
word.
now, okay.
No,
I'm going to rewind this in edit and post it, and I'm gonna find out this word.
I mean, I'm trying not to say any spy words. There's none. No, there's none.
Okay.
I think, so what happened is that we were selected to go to China, and we were told that we're representing the South African region. Now, it stands for SAR. Now, I always look at SAR, as in SAR is like South African Rugby. You know, it stands for SAR.
Oh, like SARU.
Yeah, SARU.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what is this SAR? You know, SAR. So it's South African region.
Okay.
And it means that the South African region is obviously Nigeria down to South Africa. And then you have, is it now Egypt, and those parts, they are the northern, they part of the other region. I don't know, they fall under Africa, they keep on saying they North Africa. So they fall under a different region, some sort, I don't know why.
Interesting.
Yeah, so Egypt falls...
But Egypt is also participating in this competition.
Yeah, they also participating, sorry. Then we had, the other region was EU, obviously EU.
This is Europe,
Europe was involved. There was Brazil also involved. They were also involved. Sao Paulo, there was university there as well. The only reason I think that wasn't involved was America. They were not involved.
Of
course.
No surprise there.
What else? Who was not involved? Russia was not involved.
Of course. Actually, no, I'm surprised about that.
Yeah, they were not involved.
I'm
no,
surprised.
they were not.
Okay, no,
so it was mainly mainland China and then our different regions. Okay. So we like 4 or 5 different regions, and then we all then went to China with the selected students for the competition.
Okay.
Now the competition was intense because we were there for a week.
Did you participate in the competition, or you were just
overseeing the students, making sure they're healthy, eating the right food? Because you know, food is important when you're in another country.
Yeah.
You don't want the student to eat the wrong food.
This is true.
You know, and then they have to next day they have to go and they have to do the competition. The competition was 8 hours long.
Wow.
In China.
Wow.
Double the hours that was here. So. Sheesh. 8 hours long, and you don't know what to expect.
So were you like wiping the sweat as you were writing?
No, I was actually standing in the corridor and just finding out if you need help. Because they have to work as a team.
So you're not allowed to be in the room with them?
No, you can't be in the room.
Oh, okay.
But you obviously don't want to cause disturbance, so you rather just stay out of the room. But they're allowed to help each other during the competition because the one does... You know, because I said the 3 tracks. So one does Wi-Fi, the one does security, the one does networking.
Gotcha.
So they have to work together and solve the problem and finish the whole thing within
8 hours.
8 hours. Now there was one country, I think it was also South America, Chile.
Oh wow.
Chile was there.
Interesting.
And Chile didn't save the laptops crashed because they had, and they lost all the information, everything they've done, and they were disqualified. Yeah, it was heartbreaking, same. All the way from Chile, and so that was so that's why I told my students, like, first of all, remember to save every 5 minutes because you don't know, there's no load shedding there, but you don't know when the lap crashes, you know, when information just crashes and you can't save information. So I knew that when we go to China, they are going to set up everything. They're going to control everything. So we just needed to make sure that, you know, we are ready, you know, because you don't know what can happen. And look what happened to Chile.
Sure.
So the competition started the Wednesday. So the Tuesday was we landed the Monday. I think the Sunday, yeah, we landed the Monday morning. The Tuesday we rest and we prepared ourselves for the competition, you know, mentally, physically. I think my one student went to the gym in the morning to mentally, you know, keep him like extra energized and ready for the competition. And then the next day, actually the day before, they had to eat something, and I was like looking at places where to eat, because you don't want to give them the wrong food, man, so they can be, you know, ready and fit and healthy. And I think that's the day we realized that the bank cards didn't work, because they wanted to have some KFC, so they wanted to eat some food. So I decided to, you know, just use my card and just buy them something, you know, because my card could work international.
Which banks were they with?
They were with the one student was with Capitec.
And they didn't
Capitec
work?
didn't work that side.
And which bank are you with?
FNB.
Is it?
Yeah, FNB, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Capitec didn't work that side, and he obviously had a savings account. So those things was not working in China, so that was the one thing. But then I was happy to at least give them proper food to eat, because they were energized for the next day for the competition. And when the competition started, we had to be up early also, because you can't be late. You know, the Chinese, they get buses to take you to the venue and the events. So you have to be on time. It's not like South African time or Africa time, as we call it, where you can be late 5 or 10 minutes. If that bus is there and it wants to leave, it leaves on time.
Wow.
That's one thing I've learned about the Chinese.
Punctuality.
They're always on time.
But punctuality shows respect as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's what I noticed with them and with the transport they've provided us. So getting to the venue of the exam, there's also a process they follow. You had to do an oath, like, you know, swear that you won't cheat and all that.
Holy shit.
Yeah, a lot of things was like in detail that.
Yo, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the students started the exam, went through the exam, the 8 hours. They had breaks in between also. And then also after that, we were told that the students is done, because we were in the venue next to that waiting for them to complete. Then they told me that, yes, we did good. Some things we wanted to do more, but we couldn't, time wasn't there and all that. So I told them, just wait for the results. You did your best. I mean, whatever the outcome is, we will wait for the outcome. And then the next day, we had an off day, and we decided, okay, we're gonna go do some shopping, explore China a bit, you know, because we were in Shenzhen, which is where everything gets made. Interesting.
No.
All our chargers, our phone chargers, when you see at the bottom, at the back of the adapter, it says made in China, and then it shows actually where in China, Huawei, Shenzhen. That's actually where everything gets made.
Wow.
So it was quite interesting to see that this is actually the city of economics, where everything works, where everything, you know, everything, all the electronics and everything gets made there, you know. So it's a city of electronics. And then we decided, okay, let's hop onto the train that a metro, and we had to learn how to use this metro train, you know. And we then went to the I think it's at the Long Market Street or something, and that's where you buy all the electronics. That's where all the gadgets are. So that was like the gamers hub or the nerd hub. But we didn't spend long time there. I think I spent 2 hours there only, because we had to rush back, you know, get back and prepare for the next day, because they were done with the competition, but I had to prepare for this other thing that I went to China, the speech, the panelist, and that was the Saturday. So we had to go to, I think we had to go to another place first to prepare ourselves for the speech, to prep now for the whole day, because it was a half-day event, and then after that it was the awards and that. But it was really interesting to be there. And then when I walked into the venue, they call it the Global Teacher Summit. So it were a lot of people that was there. I think it was companies internationally was also there. There was a lot of media person, you know, and they had it live stream, but it was live streamed to China only, because everybody in South Africa asked me, where's the live stream? It doesn't want to open. The link only worked for the mainland in China, the users. They didn't stream it internationally. Only after it was recorded, people could watch the recording stream. So no one could watch us live.
So they could edit. That's some bullshit.
I don't know if it's bullshit or if it's just
another way of control.
Yeah, because they streamed everything just in China, and then afterwards you basically.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. That was quite interesting because no one could watch that live.
Yeah, that's bullshit. But anyway.
Even the awards later on was also not live.
Is it?
It was live for them, but not internationally. Yeah.
Okay.
Funny. Anyway, so moving on from that. So I actually saw when I walked into the venue, my name was there in front on this whole little board, Waldon Hendricks, and I'm like, there's something interesting. I'm getting a front seat row, sitting here in front of this whole summit, you know.
There.
It was quite interesting, you know, because the first time I see my name on a badge in a big venue, where you sit in front, and then next to me was professors and other people from other universities, vice chancellors and all that, and then they called us to the stage after all the presentation was done. And then we had to answer some questions, you know. So the question was basically, how would you bridge the gap between academia and industry? So I had to basically give an answer based on what we've done at CPUT, at university, how we've bridged the gap between industry and academia, and just give a short summary version of that, you know. And that was my answer, and it was live, and I was sitting there with the mic in my hand, and I could see the light shining on me because they put you on a spotlight.
Yes.
So the light shining on you, you're sitting in the couch, sitting in the chair, and you don't want to say the wrong word because someone else is watching you from wherever, and they watch the recording, and you know, I don't know if they translate the stuff to Chinese and that, so you want to say the right thing, you know. But that was quite interesting to see, sitting on that stage and responding as part of the panelist. So that was one of the reasons why I was selected to go to China, to be part of the panelists, and also to mentor the students. And then after that, that session was done, it was awards time. So now this is the nerve-wracking part, because now you sit and you wait and you see all these categories, all these prizes. So they start from first prize, no, they start from third prize. So third prize, they give all the categories, the network track, the cloud computing, everybody that got something, right? And then they go to the second prize. They go through that. Now we started wondering. So normally, if the third prize is done, you wonder, okay, so third prize is done, where's South Africa? They're not calling our name. And now the second prize started, right? And they go through all the categories. And you're like, okay, South Africa is still not called, so how did we actually perform? You know? And then when they called first prize, we were like, we waited, and they told us, you must go close to the stage. And then we were like, what? First prize? And we were like, just trying to keep ourselves, compose, And then they called South Africa onto the stage. We got network track first prize.
That's crazy.
And that was so cool to get that award, because I mean, we didn't expect ourselves that we went there to compete, you know, for South Africa for the academy, and you know, for Huawei South Africa, and to get first prize in network track. That was an achievement, because it was the first ever that Huawei South Africa won a first prize at the global final.
Wow.
Since they started this competition in 2015, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that was history that we made.
That's
basically.
Amazing.
So that was cool.
That's amazing.
And then also just being there was just overwhelming. The only problem we had, we didn't have our South African flag. We forgot it at home. No one thought about taking a flag with.
Holy shit.
So,
fail.
Yeah, that's
Major
what we felt.
fail.
So, because it's like someone didn't tell us about taking your flag with, you know, you're really representing your country. And yeah, we didn't have a flag, and it was just, so yeah.
But still, you guys won. You guys represented
yeah,
well.
I think don't have it here, but just to show you. And now the thing with this is, it's made in China. Now I'm skeptical about it. Like, is it real gold? But this is the medal we got.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Wow.
So you can feel if it's heavy or not.
Crazy.
Yeah, so yeah. So that's a medal we got in China.
You show the streets.
It's insured on my insurance in case.
What is the shoe?
I have to, because I don't know if it's really gold. I mean, it's you can feel if it's. I don't know what's gold really.
We tried biting. Why is
No,
quite
I didn't
heavy?
try to bite it. No, I didn't try to bite it.
It is quite heavy.
Yeah, it's quite heavy. So I put a magnet next to it, and also the magnet just fell off.
Did they tell you it's real gold?
They didn't tell us anything.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, so we don't know because it's made in China, so we don't know if it's plated or what.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this was the award we got in China, and I had to take this through customs. No one actually checked it.
Is it?
Border control, because remember South Africa border control, they want to check everything that you bring from another country. They didn't actually check it because I think it's a competition award. It's not. It's not. Yeah. So yeah, it was nice to actually get something and bring it back.
Last week you also had something in Joburg.
Last week was the awards, yes, where we
so last week
was the awards actual awards of last of the yeah.
Gotcha.
So it was the ambassador awards. So we have 2 students that's actually ambassadors for the university that got the awards. So their job is to get more students into the courses. And yeah, so they got their awards, and then we got also this awards together to just showcase that we obviously
So what's next? You've got the big award. Is it okay? This is the global final.
Yeah.
Is there a universe, a galaxy? Is there something bigger than this? That's what I'm asking. Is there another competition that they want you to compete in, to participate in?
There's probably the next one I think of. This is gold. So there's a grand prize also, which everybody in China always wins. So I think my next goal is to get the grand prize, which you'll get a trophy, which is probably gold. So that is the next prize.
Okay.
Not just to get first prize, but to get the grand prize.
Okay. So what comes with the grand prize besides a trophy?
I think there's some other stuff that comes with it. I'm not sure. They're not in detail, but you'll get a trophy as the grand prize for your country.
What did your institution say, your university say when you guys won? And
I think
how was the reception of the other staff? And
the staff was excited and happy. I think I have the news media of the university that always posts things. So we've got articles and that we post on the university's webpage about the competition.
But did you receive a hero's welcome? Did people celebrate you guys when you came back? Was it music? Was it trumpets? The red carpet treatment? Did people want to take selfies with you?
I don't think people take this competition too serious or know that it's so big, that it's global. I think so. But no, we didn't get that.
Didn't we get calls from the media to say we would like to interview you, any radio interviews, any newspaper
when
interviews?
I went to Joburg the other day, Friday, I had the Chinese news channel there to interview me about the competition.
Okay, that's fucked up. That you had a media organization from a different country, different continent, never mind different country, different continent to interview you guys, and not your own people. That's fucked up.
Yeah, it's. But I think the students, they opened a international, what's it called? Not a convention center. It's a innovation center in Joburg at Huawei headquarters in Sandton. So the president was there the other day, and then
President of
South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure. President of China, because
no.
Okay.
President of South Africa was there, and he actually took a photo together with the 3
Cyril
students.
Was there.
Yeah, so was there with the 3 students.
Okay, that's nice.
And they actually got to shake his hand, and he congratulated him for representing South Africa, Huawei, at the competition and winning first prize.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's nice.
So that's good. That covers
good.
That part.
But still,
I wasn't there. Unfortunately, I can't fly just to Sandton just to go.
Just to
shake a hand and that.
But okay, I just find that we need to put the spotlight on our own people.
Yeah, I know.
Like other countries celebrate our accomplishments more than we do.
Yeah.
That's fucked up for me. I don't get it. But okay, so the academy or your institution that you
Yeah.
work for, the university, did they push more funding towards this now, or to more
I think that
your lab now?
there's talks about getting funded, because remember we
Because obviously there's so much potential.
Yeah,
You guys won
there's-
first prize.
exactly,
and,
yeah.
You know, this global competition. So.
and also the mentorship, like who's gonna, I mean, it can't just be me. There must be someone else that can take students and and train them, educate them, prepare them for a
But
competition.
wouldn't you want to be that guy while you are there? Because
I would.
I remember we spoke off mic and you're busy
Yeah.
doing your PhD.
Yes.
And we potentially spoke about you possibly wanting to venture out into other things as well.
Yeah.
So wouldn't you want to grow this while you are there, and then once you guys are established and won the grand prize, maybe pass the torch to somebody else?
I would want that, yes, I would want that. But also there's other things also that I want to focus on. I mean, not just the Huawei Academy. Yes, it's there. But I think there is other things also that...
What if Samsung comes in and has a competition and says, yo, we also want to jump on this competition bandwagon? How would you feel? Would you feel like you are betraying Huawei because you are in an ambassador capacity, so to say? Or would you say, fuck it, Samsung, here we come,
I don't
we in
think
the
I
streets?
will. And I don't think I mean, I've got the AWS Academy also. AWS is also out there. Yes, they don't have competition, but they also have other things they do.
Okay.
The only thing is that Huawei's competition is global, and it sets a footprint out there, and it's something that the other vendors are not doing. I mean, there's Red Hat, there's Juniper, there's Cisco. None of them have what they're doing, you know, and how they're doing it also. So I think, and also what I like about it is that they get colleges also involved. You know, we actually had the talk Friday when we were there in Joburg, that there was a representative from higher education, curriculum development for the TVET colleges, colleges. And he's thinking about incorporating the Huawei courses into the curriculum for TVET colleges.
Wow.
So they can be SACWA accredited. So imagine that such a short course that gets incorporated into a college,
Yes.
and when you're done with your college diploma, college certificate, you get entered into the job market with that certificate that qualifies you to be a technician or network technician. So that's good.
That is good.
And that's actually a shorter way of getting employed.
It makes education more accessible as well.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people can't afford to go to university.
Yeah, exactly.
So getting this while you are at college, you know, it not only empowers you for the job market, but I mean, it's good experience.
Yeah.
And you can take it anywhere with you.
Exactly, and it's
gives
something
you options,
that,
man.
Yeah, it gives students options also. It's like, I look at students that do their degrees or the diploma. It takes 3 years, and then in that third year they still haven't decided what they want to be.
Oh, wow.
Right? Now you get a certificate at a college which has an industry qualification to it. Student is done, he can go into the job market, into the private sector, and he could easily get a job because he's done what the industry wants. So this whole thing about, the big thing about bridging the gap between industry and academia, it's a big thing because people don't see the industry as important as at the university because of the SACWA, as mentioned earlier, the accreditation. Because you can be someone that has an expert qualification in the industry out there. You can get a lot of money. People can worship you and praise you because you're this expert. But now if you come back to the university, they would want you to have a master's or a doctorate to match that level, you know. So that's the whole gap and the problem I think that is out there. And that's why people can't get jobs. Because you finish your diploma or your degree, then the industry wants to know, do you have any experience? And then you have nothing experience, you know. And that's why people don't get jobs, because they're neglecting the industry qualifications. That's also important. But it's also about curriculums and how universities set the curriculums and design their stuff. I'm not the expert in that, but I think if they focus more on the industry also and add those important things about the industry in there, when students finish a degree or diploma, they would have all these certifications on their name and they would get a job easily. Yeah.
So, okay, Waldon, so thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah.
Where can people find on social media?
Well, social media, I'm on Facebook. I was on Twitter and then it changed to X, so I'm not on X anymore. Well, I'm still there, but I don't do much.
Okay.
I'm on LinkedIn. My followers are mostly on LinkedIn, and I post sometimes occasionally.
What's your handles on?
Handle is Waldon Hendricks. Waldon Hendricks.
Is that both Facebook and LinkedIn?
And LinkedIn, yes.
LinkedIn.
But I think LinkedIn I prefer that as the best route to take where social media.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for also allowing these streets into your home.
No problem, no problem.
Thank you so much, man. I had a fascinating conversation. I learned so much about and now how to pronounce
some of the
as well.
Yeah, some of the things.
What you doing out in these streets, Leroux? What you doing out in these streets? What you doing out? What you doing out? What you doing out in these streets? What you doing out in these streets, Leroux? We in these streets.